Okay, nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for Marcus Rogers and his involvement with this whole Daystar debacle. I have a lot that I want to say, could say, have said in the last couple of days on my X posts. But for brevity's sake, it is Thursday, December 12th, I think. It is Thursday. I do know that much. And Marcus had just put out a video statement on YouTube earlier today. And I'm just like kind of floored, to be honest. I don't trust that he's got the best discernment. Some of the ways that he talks about like God and centering himself as this like Bible hero chosen by God, and, the kinds of leadership he has in his life, like, anyway, it triggers me. But what I found abundantly clear about his statement today is that he has not learned his lesson. Like, it is a massive thing to not only, like, in one breath, like, I do appreciate you, saying that you are apologizing to the child victim, if nothing else, no matter how you slice it, saying that she is at least, at the center of the downfall of this, billion-dollar empire. But what I found really wrong was that in the very next breath, you are all but accusing her parents of doing wrong by her. So I really freaking hope you're right. And I really freaking hope you can back it up. Because lying about having a recording, and about lying about recordings in a meeting like that, like, yeah, that is not a good look. That is, that's not okay. I really do hope that Jonathan answers to that. But Jonathan was the one who released those recordings in the first place. You'd be floored to know how many people, when they are in circumstances like these, with narcissism, with rampant spiritual abuse, like, their only evidence is something that they have had to hide and protect with their life. And so for you to assume that they're like going about things, doing it dirty, or for you to say that, because you're like the guy chosen by God, the only one who has evidence for both sides and the only one in communication with both sides, like, sorry. If you're going to make that claim and leverage that accusation that it seems that Jonathan and Suzy might be out for clout or platform or riches or anything, like, you're gonna need to back that up with evidence that cannot be explainable by their efforts to escape the system, collect evidence for their child, and get out of there with their integrity in an honoring way to the Lord. Is anybody saying like Jonathan and Suzy are perfect angels and they've been like righteous before God in every single thing they do? I don't know. Maybe there are people saying that. The rest of us are not. The rest of us know that these kinds of abusive situations and family systems are messy, and there are no perfect people that come out of it. And like, if we're really talking in terms of like their handlings of things versus the way that you, Marcus Rogers, have handled things, I'd still be in their corner 10 times out of 10. And you're going to have to prove me wrong with evidence, as opposed to your source just being like, trust me, bro, Joni showed me stuff. Like, my suspicions are that you and Joni are a lot more alike than you'd like to think, in your personality, in your God complex, and your main character energy. And so, I don't know, I'm hot right now. I will, if I'm proven wrong, I will do some self-reflection and issue something differently. But right now, that's where I stand. It's super hard to watch it all unfold. I just feel bad for Jonathan and Suzy, because I feel like they went from one abusive, unsafe, spiritually manipulative environment where they were cast as the villain, to then having their vulnerability just completely like bypassed. And just, Marcus, the way that you stewarded their story, the way that you have like centered your own like virtue signaling, and how integrous you are, and how brave and honorable, and how you did the biblical thing, but like, where, like, I do not see the fruit. Like, I don't see it. And I also don't see any understanding on your part, Marcus, of being trauma informed and understanding what victims of abuse, like documented abuse, we've all heard the abuse, like, that isn't something that you pressed or questioned. Like, that wasn't something that ruffled your feathers enough to make you start thinking about like systematic problems, coercive control, undue influence, authoritarian influences. Like, there is so much that you're still out kicking your coverage and diving out of your depth, and you don't even know it, but you feel so emboldened and right in your own ways of thinking that you found it appropriate to be the arbiter of truth. You found it appropriate to say that you have reviewed all this evidence and like God told you this, that, and the third about these people and their intentions. Like that is disgusting behavior. And like, if I'm wrong and you are right, I will come back on here and say something different. But for now, like Marcus Rogers, mark and avoid.